Virtually every conspiracy theory that I've ever had, if not at least 9 out of 10, have
It makes me shiver
proven not
the
only
bone.
to be
Shakes the
true,
day.
but in many cases to have not even happened at all.
It got caught in my eye.
And
you know,
now a common, much more common phrase in the vernacular is gerrymandering. No, not gerrymandering, it's false flags. So you have to ask yourself, if the system is letting that information come into the mainstream, then what is what could be the purpose of that? Because there's always a people talk about two sides to an issue, and we reduce ourselves to such accepted ideas that something is either black or white, when in fact there are many, many shades of gray in between, and that applies to so many things. We are led to be dualistic, are used to divide and to conquer and to kill. Although, as in the case of the Nazi fantasy, like every other thing that's ever been on the news, it would seem there were actors. And it's funny how many movies there have been made about the American military and the Nazis, and and then it got to where it seems like almost any argument, it's gotten to be a joke how it's just a matter of time till the Nazis. But when you look at the names, the picture becomes a bit blurry. You find out virtually every one of these people are someone else, and it goes far beyond the stage name. Like when I worked at the big FM, I went by Matt Moore, and I said, Rock 101 WROQ, the classic rock station. You're in the Moonlight with Matt Moore, and coming up later, we've got some Led Zeppelin, Kiss, and Eric Clapton. But I was who I said I was, except for the last name. When people would meet me, there's no makeup or anything involved, and I use that to illustrate, I guess that, someone like Chris Matthews, unless it was for a specific purpose, you wouldn't see him or recognize him in a restaurant, because as opposed to just having a stage name, that is a complete created character, fiction, if you will, just like the Congress and the Republicans and the Democrats, which I'm sorry to see some of my friends still talking about, proud to be liberal and that. Convincing if you follow the 24-hour shit cycle of news. But that is not, it's not reality. It's not even what's going on. They're, mostly what I find they are doing is that the public is so stupid that they can't ever read declassified documents and, you know, search news, there is good news out there, not necessarily, matter of fact, more than likely not ever from one source, but just if you scan around, there are real stories out there. And of course, you know, come to think of it, even all of these oil spills that seem to be happening all the time, I would tend to think those are true. It's hard to tell sometimes by pictures because of everything that can be done with photography and special effects and whatnot. I shared that live leak footage that was supposedly just released at the beginning of my Donald Fagen The Goodbye Look video, live leak footage from 9/11 that appears to show people warning people to leave because there's bombs that are getting ready to go off. The only name that seems to be from the real family in this search for, I guess, the beast is Rothschild. The others, although they're there's an actor that's at least one actor that's played a member of that family. So to me, if there's actors playing members of your family, then it makes me question if there was ever any true roots to that family other than the facts, so to speak, that are presented in history books and by research and whatnot. Who I think the real demons are at the head of all this is, you know, they're always trying to get you to look at one thing because usually something else is the case. I'm not saying there's nothing to the reptilians, but I think it's probably giant ninja chickens that are the real overlords. I mean, they even have the oldest joke about the egg and the chicken. There's probably, you know, two of them that are still laughing about that, just like this small group of elite probably sits there and laughs at the news when they know who they really are and what they're really doing and who their masters are. But I was also going to maybe try a little bit of stand-up whilst sitting down. By the way, one of the times when I was working at Walmart, I was in the electronics department with a long line. Person called, asked something about a product. I went and found the answer to the question, came back and told them. And then they said, well, you know, something like, how much is it, or something like that. And I was alone, it was Sunday afternoon, I had a line, and I said, well, if you want to shop, you're going to have to come into the store. And can't imagine how, but that got back to management, and they later took me back in the office and talked to me about that. Of course, I got a little write-up for that. Isn't that funny how through so many different retail or what have you situations in work that continue this grade school practice of writing you up as if you're always supposed to be some sort of a little puppy, you know, begging for a treat rather than a free-thinking, sovereign individual with the power of the cosmos at your fingertips, if you to the extent that you can understand that and relate to it. I hate these clocks, by the way. What I don't so much hate the clocks is the noise from them gets on my nerves. I don't like any unnecessary noise, and if we get a complete do-over with the world, I want to do away with car what the fuck the thing that's put over yourself. I want to get away with do away with that beeper. I want to do away with the key beeper. I want alarm systems to be much more, they might as well be central and, tell you something good instead of the crazy noise they make, unless there actually is a breaking in that can make the disgusting loud noise. There's too many little things on this computer, for example. Anytime you plug anything out or plug anything in, it makes this annoying, almost like an error sound. Well, Samsung, I understand when I'm unplugging and I'm plugging something in, I don't need you to remind me every time that I just unplugged so-and-so, and it's, God. And, I mean, some of these systems are supposed to be so advanced, like I'm not technically ever supposed to have another YouTube account, yet on this new one, it shows me, like my old name, and if I go there it says, this account is no more. So, at least the electronics know that it's me who wasn't supposed to have another account. But you see what I'm saying? That makes me wonder. Sometimes when you hear these stories about how even though you've been hearing them for 20 years, about how the either Homeland Security or the NSA or some other stupid fucking alphabet agency, they say, oh, the glitch was because of the computer is outdated and they're still not communicating the way they're supposed to. Why the hell aren't they communicating the way they're supposed to? We only have billions of dollars in black budgets going all that shit every year. You'd think they could work. And the other little sort of humorous thing I wanted to share was, again, one of the times I was working at Walmart, I worked there twice. First time 4 years, second time 2 years. Anyway, I was fed up during one of those times, and I was putting in an application at a restaurant where an acquaintance at the time worked. And I'd been putting in a lot of applications, and I began to realize how stupid it is that you have to tell people every time about where you went to high school, and if you want to share your various and sundry colleges. At some point that became and obviously I didn't know could be left out. But when I got to the part of the application where it says education, I wrote a lot, and evidently they laughed at that place for months after that. And the owner who later I think probably burnt down the restaurant on purpose because they never would go after it was destroyed. It's a good barbecue place. But they laughed about that for months. My acquaintance at the time told me, he would say, how's a lot doing? But why shouldn't that cover it? I mean, and my thing about job interviews and stuff, which obviously is not served me well, and I'm not this blunt about it when I'm there, but my inner attitude is, motherfucker, I don't need to tell you why I can, sweep a damn floor and wash a window or clean a grill or what have you. I'm here. I wouldn't be here if I couldn't do those things, and I haven't been doing those things for 25 or 30 years. So get out of my face, give me the job, and go to hell.